How will you analyse this match, and how do you take this?
The complete difference in the second half and how it changed.
Yeah.
In English or French?
You can translate for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just shut off. Putting Gregor under pressure. No, I think the first half we did some good things, but we gave quite a few soft penalties and turnovers, and the skills maybe weren't there. And then second half we came out, we got a try early on that got us back into the game and got the momentum for us. So first half there were some good things, but a lot of work-ons, and then second half we played much better and we ran harder onto the ball. Our defence was better, discipline was better. So I think the first half and second half were very different, and it was great to have had that second half and play the way we want to.
What do you think of this French team, and what are you expecting for the next game?
I think it wasn't their strongest team, I wouldn't say. I think a lot of their players will come back next week. So again, it'll be a different team that we face. This week it was quite tough to prepare, as a lot of the boys haven't played, or especially against us in the Six Nations. So we focused on ourselves this week, but next week we'll know the players that come back, and we can maybe look back at the game from the Six Nations to analyse how they play, and then we'll go from there. But like I said, I think next week will be a very different French team we face.
How much of a boost does that second half performance give you going for France next week?
I think it was really good. It shows the rugby that we can play. We took our chances in the second half. We still maybe left one or two tries out there, but I think from last week it's another step forward, which is good going into France next week. Like I said, it'll be a very different French team we face, but I think it'll be a really good challenge for us building for the World Cup.
How did you find the whole captaincy experience?
It was good fun. As a 10 on the pitch, you tend to talk a lot and you're always chatting with other leaders, so in terms of speaking on the pitch and having leadership, it was kind of similar. I think maybe more just the relationship with the referee and having those key decisions at certain times, whether we go for the post or the corner, was the main difference. But no, it was good fun. I enjoyed it, and at half time it maybe wasn't the most enjoyable, but after the second half it was good.
That was the first time you had the bunker thing being used. Is that something that you had to kind of think on your feet?
No, I wouldn't say so. I think if it's a yellow card or red card, it's the player's gone off anyway. So these things happen in rugby, and it's just I suppose a new part of the game. So I wouldn't say it's something I have to think of. Xander was off the pitch, so we started as 14 men straight away. But it didn't change the way that we were going to play. The message from the side, from Gregor and the coaches, was to keep playing as we are, even if it was a red card, as it changed a red card. The messages were still the same, to keep playing as we were, having a crack wide and taking them on.
When you went for the post, that penalty dead early on, is this like the new mature captain sensible thing when Russell? No,
I said to Gregor before the game, are we going to go to touch a lot, or are we going to go for the post? And I think we said if we get an easier kick, we'll go for the post. If it's maybe outside the 15, we'll go to touch. But that one was, early on in the game, just getting on the scoreboard was I think a good confidence boost for us to get into the game. I think the first 12 minutes we played well and we got 3 points ahead, but then the French got back and got the momentum from there. So I wouldn't say it was a change in how I play or what I'm like. I think it was more just the plan going into the game.
And 21-3 down at half time, the first time as captain, I mean, how do you manage that in the change room? Is it just the kind of same as always, or did you feel that you had to kind of address it yourself? Or?
I think we've been in that situation before, and we did address that the first half wasn't good enough. We turned over ball, we weren't accurate, we gave penalties away, and the French took their chances. As I said before, we did do a few good things, but we didn't manage to capitalise on the back of that. And second half we went out there, we took them on, our skill execution was a lot better, our ruck was a lot better, our discipline was better, and we took our chances. So I think Darcy's try early in the second half, that really got momentum back in our camp, and we built from there.
Did you feel any pressure to kind of lead that kind of discussion at half time? Was it just that, or is it kind of the process is there anyway?
I think it was tough, like I said, we were under pressure. They just scored before half time, so they went 18 points ahead. So it was trying to rebuild from there. A message we kind of tried to get on the pitch was just get on to the next job, get the next thing. So when half time came, we knew what the game plan was going to be, going out there with their kick off and how we were going to take them on. And the boys executed that really well. And like I said, we got a try early on that really got us the momentum back and got the crowd into the game.
When did you last captain a team from the first one, or have you ever?
Never.
That was literally it.
Surely still like under 18s or something, no?
No, I don't think so. I think that was the first time, so a lot of confidence from Gregor giving me it today, but...
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
I believe that they will put out a completely different 15. We've seen a pattern with teams going into these games of having one team training and playing against another team that's training against them. So I'd be very surprised if it wasn't a totally new 15 next week. We talked about stopping France scoring more points, so being better defensively. And one area was around the ruck speed France were getting. The other area was just where we position ourselves in the field. But we were reasonably happy with what we were doing attack-wise. We just hadn't had enough ball. So the change was the fact that we scored, and then there was momentum growing after that. And it didn't change when we went a man down. I think we built into the way we attacked, whether we were 14 or 15, and that was creating opportunities and getting us penalties too from the France defence. Yeah, of course, there's concern when someone picks up a red card. It's a difficult one. There's rugby incidents in games where the contact area is so fiercely competitive. France are a team that like to jackal. The hooker that Xander collided with is one of the best jacklers in world rugby, and if it's a timing issue or a height issue, yes, we have to make sure that we don't get those head knocks, head collisions, but there was no malice, there was no the foul play is more from the rugby incident of missed timing on a ruck clear, so we just have to hope that the judiciary see the same as what we see.
The very white ice on his ankle, patting him on the back, didn't sound look good at all. Is he, how concerned are you?
Well, he's much more positive now. Excuse me. He just got his foot trapped under him when they had a kick through, and I think he got high tackled and got his foot trapped under him. It was an area that he had an issue at the beginning of our World Cup camp, but he's been training fully now for the last 6 weeks. And in initial testing, it seems okay. He's off to the hospital just to make sure there's nothing in the scan. So fingers crossed, he's okay. It might be that he struggles to train this week, but hopefully he'll be available for the World Cup.
Can I just check that? Was that the kind of you got the penalty, you went back for it? And
yes.
Yeah,
They'd had the penalty. They kicked ahead, and then we got a high tackle penalty.
It's not the first time Xander's run into bother in that kind of situation. Is there anything that he needs to be doing better or differently?
Yeah, I've seen the incident again because I interviewed on TV, and he does adjust his feet. So the one from Wales game, he did come in very quickly, and at the time it was very understandable because someone else hadn't gone to the ruck clear, so he knew if he didn't come in quickly, Wyn Jones would have got the jackal. So on this occasion they did adjust his feet, so there wasn't much speed, wasn't reckless. He just didn't get underneath the French hooker's chest area, which can happen in all the 200 ruck clears or whatever there are in the game. So I hope that for Xander, but obviously for us as a team, that they see that there was nothing reckless in there, nothing was out of control. It was just a timing issue on how he couldn't get underneath the jackler.
My understanding is 48 hours rolled in 72 hours. Is that? Do you know off the top of your head, is that right for the hearing?
No, that's right for the citing. I think that they have to. I think within 48 hours, I think they have to put the case forward. Now I think automatically any red card will go to a hearing. So, with test matches coming in every week, we would expect that to be done by Tuesday or Wednesday of this week, obviously it will affect our plans for next weekend, and our World Cup squad gets announced a week on Wednesday, so we'll need to know before then.
Yeah, so you don't know, but you would expect it.
I think I think there's so many test matches here. I think the Argentina sighting, I think Japan red card will all decide in the middle of the week, so I'm sure it'll be the same for us.
And at the end of that, Gregor, there was big celebrations in the box.
Was there? Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's just in terms of the psychology of it, it clearly was quite important to you guys to get that result.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and it's a test match, even though these are not Six Nations games or World Cup games. It's a test match in front of almost 60,000 people. So we know our job is to win. And because we were defending our line at the end, there's obviously thoughts going around your mind of whether we're going to hold out for the win. And it was such an encouraging second half performance and victory that it would have been a big blow if we hadn't got that win. So yeah, it was great to see that maul defence and then getting the jackal. Actually, can't remember who it was, whether it was Rory Darge or Cam Redpath was in there too. So remind me a lot of England. We had a maul, Twickenham this year, a maul to defend. The forwards fronted up, we had to go through a number of phases of defence, and it was Jamie got the jackal that day. Today it was Rory Darge. So we showed much more of who we are in that second half, both in attack and defence, and to do it with one less player for the majority of the second half is going to be really positive with what the players' levels of belief are.
South Africa's not going to be easy. If you start like that against South Africa, you're really going to be struggling. How big a concern is that?
Yeah, and look, part of it is how France started. It's not so much how we started. France were excellent at the beginning. They play a game where any loose balls they'll exploit, and it's a first test match for a lot of players, first game for a lot of players for a while, and we went up at the speed at times in defence, and I suppose the contact area at times that was decisions around whether to go in, and if you're going in, make sure that you're an unstoppable force in there. But we adjusted, and the second half performance shows what this team can achieve in a short space of time. And they also had to go through that in Paris this year with a man down, and I think it was 17-0, was it? And today it was a similar scoreline today. And today we got the win, so we're one step ahead of where we were in Paris, but we know we've got to improve a lot more ahead of next week and into the South Africa game.
Is Zander, is he upset, worried? Is he feeling?
It feels like he's let down the team. He obviously said there was nothing reckless in his movements. He adjusted his feet, but just couldn't get the right area to get underneath a jackler. And no injury. I know he was speaking to the player in question, so the player played on, so I don't think there was any injury there either. So fortunately that was the case, and it was a rugby incident that cost us a player, but there was no negative repercussions in terms of injury.